Hi guys, this is Dr. Gonzalez here. This is just a short introductory video. I wanted to take a few moments and introduce myself to you. I am either your instructor for Psych 4370 or 4371 and their social work equivalents, and this is the summer of 2026. If you've watched my videos or as you go through the course and start watching them, you'll realize pretty quickly I don't usually include my video capture of myself in my presentations. It's just a personal preference. So I wanted to introduce myself and kind of put a face to a name, so to speak. Again, this is summer. This is the 8-week course. Today is actually June 1st. This course will end on July 25th. And in case you were wondering where you are, this is the University of Houston, Clear Lake. So a little bit about my academic background. I am a graduate of the University of Southern Mississippi. I graduated in 2000 and again in 2002. My undergraduate degree was in psychology. My master's degree is in public health with an emphasis in epidemiology and biostatistics. After that, I decided I wanted to try to get my doctorate degree, but I wasn't quite ready yet. So I left the University of Mississippi in 2004 with another master's degree in biomedical sciences and preventive medicine, and that was a lot of statistics as well. And then I kind of took a hiatus for about 15 years, moved abroad, got married, had a child, got divorced, came back to the United States, and in the middle of COVID, decided to finish my doctorate degree. And I ended up getting my doctorate in education from the university that you see there on the screen, William Carey University. And my focus is in instructional leadership. A lot of people ask me, when are you going to become a principal or an administrator? I have absolutely no desire to do that. I enjoy instruction, designing curriculum, looking at the way we teach things, the way my students learn. That is my cup of tea. So I'm not going to be an administrator or a principal ever. My professional background is really very varied. I only included the things on here that had to do with teaching specifically. The first course that I taught was back in 2001 when I was in graduate school, and that was at USM. And it was undergraduate biostatistics. So I guess I should have stuck with what I loved because I kind of cycled through a whole bunch of other things before I settled down into what I absolutely love, which is what I do now. I taught kindergarten. That was an experience that I don't want to repeat. I am not made for teaching small humans. I taught technical English for engineers in Guadalajara, Mexico. That was interesting. A lot of them were working on their dissertations for their graduate degrees, and I learned how to translate a lot of very interesting terminology that had to do with engines and car parts, mainly. When I came back to the States, I became a certified teacher, and I've fallen into the sciences. I teach high school, mainly biology, but I will teach anything that comes along because I'm actually an alternative school teacher. So I teach kids who have done something that they should probably not have done, and they come and see me for approximately 45 days or the remainder of the year, depending on what they do. So a lot of the things I'm going to talk about and reference in these courses is going to go back to education because that is my area of expertise when it comes to research. And then I also teach for the University of Houston Clear Lake research methods and statistics. During the summer, I'll often teach the experimental section, and normally I teach the non-experimental. So like I said, right now, focusing on teaching biology in high school, and at the moment I am enjoying my second week of vacation. A little bit about me on a personal level. I have one son. His name is Alex. He's going to be graduating next year, and I am not ready for that. I have a little bit of experience with him living away because he attends a residential school for kids who are academically talented. So he basically lives on a college campus and goes to classes on his own and all the things that you would normally do as a college student living on campus. This is his second year, obviously, because he's a senior, or he will be this fall. He has no idea what he wants to major in and no idea what school he wants to go to. So if anybody has any suggestions or ideas, I am game. I also have lived in Mexico for a little bit over 10 years. I don't live there now, but I did spend a good proportion of my adult life there. And my son was born there, so he's a dual citizen, the U.S. and Mexico. I haven't been back in quite some time, but Alex and I are talking about going for a visit next year, so we'll see. And on that note, I absolutely love to travel. I've been to about 12 different countries. I've put my feet on every continent except for Antarctica. I really don't like cold weather, so I doubt I'll ever make it there. A little bit more about me on a personal level. I like to do complicated paint by numbers. That has become a little bit of an obsession of mine since the pandemic when we were all locked inside and had nothing to do. You can see an example of one of those right here. They are very complicated. They take time, and it's a great activity for me to just kind of chill at the end of the day. And I usually do that while I'm listening or watching to some sort of science fiction movie or TV show. Think of the things from the 90s and the early 2000s like Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Stargate, Star Trek, Star Wars, all of that silly stuff. I also like to sew and make quilts, but I'm not really very good at it, which is ironic considering that my grandmother and a lot of my aunts, I have 10 of them, are wonderful seamstresses. I'm sure my grandmother is watching me from heaven going, oh my gosh, what is she doing? That is terrible. But I keep on doing it every day and try. I'm fluent in Spanish and English, obviously. I enjoy taking photographs and camping. I collect watches, and I have way too many of them for my own good. I just can't stop. My research interests are really specifically related to education, just because that's what I do. If I had my way, though, I would probably research something different, such as sleep. I've always had an interest in that, and I am a big night owl. But in my research interests right now, it's mainly focused on K-12 education, specifically special education. Particularly, I'm interested in homebound education, which is not the same as homeschooling. It is a specific setting for students that cannot attend regular school for certain reasons. They are instructed by someone from the district who usually goes and sees them at their home, which is why it's called homebound. And then I'm also interested in how things work in alternative school settings because that's where I spend most of my days. Just a little summary here because I know there's a separate video on success in this course, but keep in mind to be successful in this class, you need to really keep an eye on your time management, especially considering this is a summer class and it's only 8 weeks. You can go back to the syllabus to look at policies and procedures at any time. One of the things I want to emphasize is to read the instructions for your assignments very carefully, because a lot of times people miss things just by not reading. And then make sure you review your assignments after I have graded and returned them, because I will give you feedback. And for both of these courses, you're going to be writing a research paper. So we're going to start writing it during week 1. And so if I give you feedback on the first part during week 1 and you ignore that feedback until July 20th, you've set yourself behind by 7 weeks. So just keep that in mind. Most importantly, please reach out to me if you have any questions. Email is the best form. Since it's summer and I'm technically on vacation, I should be able to get back to you pretty quickly. But give me at least 24 hours because, life happens. I wish you all good luck, and I look forward to getting to know you all during the next few weeks. Take care.